They're spending, even though our economy is so much larger than all those other economies, even taking that into account, we simply have to invest more. And I use that word invest because while we often hear in the media spend, the fact of the matter is when you invest in a local rail system, for example, you are making an investment that 25, 50, 100 years from now, people in Dallas and the surrounding area will still be using that as a result of the investment today. So the cost may go against the current budget, but the benefits will play out over many decades ahead. Sometimes that's hard for people to understand. They look at the big price tag. They say, oh my goodness, look how much that is, not realizing that they'll be getting benefits far in excess of that price tag for decades to come. Economists tell us that the average public transportation investment returns about $6 for every $1 that the federal government puts in that investment. Well, I wish I could tell you that my retirement funds right now were bringing me $6 back for every dollar I put in. So I think it's pretty obvious when you start to think in those terms, it's not a cost, it's an investment that will return benefit for many, many years to come.
Now, we have not had an increase in the gas tax now for quite some time.
Yes, that's correct.
And yet it's not a great time to be talking about increasing taxes on gas. But the trust fund actually went broke. And we have put some general treasury money into it, but unless we continue to put it in, we're going to be broke again without really paying for what we've got to do just immediately ahead. So has your organizational structure, your members, had any thoughts you'd like to share about how we can get this money?
Yes, well, certainly I'm not sure everyone understands exactly how their highways and public transit systems get paid for, but the federal gas tax is a significant part of that, and it hasn't been raised since 1993. Now, there isn't much else in my life that costs the same as it cost in 1993, and yet the costs of building new roads or building public transit systems continues to grow just through the rate of inflation, if nothing else. Plus, in an area like the Dallas area, which is still growing rapidly, it's not enough to just stay even. You got to try to keep up with the growth. So certainly for the foreseeable future, the federal gas tax is going to be an important source of money. Many of us, my association included, believe that we have to have the Congress at least catch it up for inflation. At least replace that lost buying power since 1993, and at a minimum then, having caught it up to inflation, index it to future inflation. People say, well, gee, that might mean a dime, or that might mean 15 cents in the gas tax. Well, just in the last 2 months, I don't know about you, but the price I'm paying for fuel has gone up 35 cents, and I saw no benefit from that. It just cost me more money. So I think increasing the gas tax is a good way to generate some sufficient funds so we can maintain and improve our highways and transit systems, but it's not enough. We'll have to do things like entice the private sector. Once our current economic troubles are over, no reason in the world why we shouldn't make greater use of private investments as well. And we have to experiment with new ideas. Some people are suggesting it would be more fair if we had what's called a vehicle mile revenue source. In other words, how many miles you drive would determine what you might pay into the fund. And of course, using modern information technology, that's much more possible than it used to be. So I think the future is going to be funding from a wide variety of sources. New ideas like the President's infrastructure bank, again, structured around the idea that the costs are now but the benefits play out for decades. Many new ideas like that are going to need to be considered by the Congress, and I think in the end we would look to the Congress to really create a mix of funding sources that would not hit any one group too hard, but when taken together would give us the kind of revenue necessary to improve public transit, improve our highway system, and do the other things we need to do to keep our country strong and our communities vital.
Have you seen a difference in the ridership if fares go up a bit to try to close some of this gap?
Well, ridership in public transportation has been growing pretty dramatically over the last 12 or 13 years. If you take the year 1995 and compare it with the year 2008, use of America's transit systems across the country is up by about 38%. Now, our population only grew by about 14% in that time, and our use of the nation's highways only by about 21%. So people are finding that as public transit is improved, as it's expanded, such as you've done in the Dallas area with the tremendous work that Dallas DART and the T in Fort Worth and the Trinity Railway Express and all the other improvements that have been made in your area, people are responding. You know, another thing we're seeing is not only are they voting with their feet using public transit at record levels, but when they go into the ballot booth, when they have to vote on a local tax referendum that would make more investment possible for public transit, last year 79% of the time those ballots were approved by people. So it's not that people won't pay more if they understand what they're getting and believe in what they're getting is good value. They want to be assured that if they do invest more money, they will see that return. And in public transportation, time and time again, we're seeing that faith with the people being kept, and they're using the systems in record levels.
You know, we accumulate money, and as we accumulate it, it is necessary to continue to spend it. I am a little concerned of whether or not we have a overall planning so that we can determine at some point, do we continue to replace I-35 with never finishing, just you finish one part and you go to another, or do we have to plan it in some other fashion? I have noticed in some of the other countries they have rapid rail almost parallel to other transportation. And so even if it goes to tolls, there's still an alternative route that people can go. So I'm proud that we've been able to do that. But I wonder if we have, or if your group has studied an overall planning for the future, see how we connect with the rest of the world.
Yes, absolutely. We've done our own work in this area. We call it Transit Vision 2050, and if I could plug my website of www.apta.com, people could see what our plan is. But basically, we call for improving both the quality and the availability of public transit. You know, the U.S. Census Bureau tells us that only about half the American households have any access to public transit at all. Well, you can't use what you don't have, and so we would like to see the Congress make it possible to invest in new systems. Your example about, they're called multimodal corridors, where you might have a highway and you might have a rail line and you might have a local bus, because all serve different needs and different functions, is a good one. But of course, as you also pointed out, then we need to make sure we take care of what we have, that we make sure that the money is there to maintain our systems and to provide adequate service levels, so that you don't build a brand new beautiful rail line and then not have enough money to put the trains on the tracks, so to speak. And that seems to be what many people are looking at, is both this combination of taking care of what you have and extending it and making it available to more people.
Yes. Several years ago, here in the Washington area, we rebuilt the airport. Upon the completion of that, we realized that nothing had changed in the air traffic control area. And so we had old technology with a brand new airport, and it didn't work very well. So we had to go back and upgrade the technology.